Welcome into the live post-game show. Creta 3, Jimmy G. I guess it's not technically post-game yet. 6 seconds. Giants just scored a very meaningless touchdown. 49-17. In all likelihood, will be our final. That was a butt whipping, Jimmy, as we kind of anticipated it would be. Cowboys cruise. Dak didn't. He only played the first 3 quarters. Cooper Rush played the whole 4th quarter. What'd you call it earlier? Rocking chair game.
Rocking chair game, man.
Indeed.
If you had the over, if you had Cowboys minus 17, rocking chair game, because you can just sit back in your rocking chair and this one's never in doubt. Great win by the Cowboys. This is what you should do when you got teams that are just awful. You keep your foot on the gas pedal and don't let up. And that's exactly what they did today. Great win. Great win.
Great win. Bounce back win. Any way you slice it. Everybody's disappointed. The result last week against the Eagles. You come back, division game, and you just leave no doubt. Second time we've just throttled the Giants. And if you have a, not saying you do, but if you had a Cowboys over 3.5 division wins, you're sitting pretty at 2-1 right now.
I'm sitting pretty. If, like you said, if they had it, if someone had it.
If someone drove to Arkansas and placed that particular bet, you'd be looking pretty good right now.
Yep. Still got 2 against Washington and 1 against Philly. So I like it.
Yeah, you got 3 to get 2 wins. Got to go 2-1 in those, and that one's a winner. It's final 49-17. Cowboys are now 6-3 on the season. Box score in this game is pretty lopsided. The Cowboys had over 600 yards of total offense, most ever by the Giants against the Giants.
Yeah, Brian Dable. Last year I thought Daniel Jones didn't play, but I don't think it would have mattered. They did so much last year that there was nowhere to go but down because just not high on Daniel Jones. Did not think he's that great. I think he overachieved last year, and they came crashing back to earth this year. So I feel bad for him because I think he's a good guy, good coach. But yikes, man. They are bad.
They're not good at football. I'll tell you that.
They don't have an MVP candidate at quarterback. Not that we do either. But he played like one today.
I don't know. I mean, he's having a pretty good season.
Yep.
This was excited it being a rough game for the Giants. It could be a rough game for the Dak is mid crowd because now I guess they're going to say, well, it's against the Giants. But he also performed like this against the Eagles last week. Dak was 26 of 35, 404 yards, 4 touchdowns for the second time in the last couple games. He also had 17 yards rushing and a touchdown. Dak had 5 touchdowns. The Giants haven't scored 5 touchdowns in their last 5 games, I don't think.
Yeah,
Dak had 5 in one game.
Great job. 1 interception. But
yeah, and that was a bad decision, bad throw.
Well, when you can go 5 for 1, I'll take a 5-to-1 ratio. If you're scoring 5 and giving 1 away, I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. Running game was very effective. We had some concerns about the running game, but the Cowboys as a team, 33 carries for 168 yards. Rico Dowdle, best game as a Cowboy, 12 carries, 79 yards, a touchdown. Tony Pollard also had 15 carries for 55 yards. We mentioned Dak's touchdown running. CeeDee Lamb carried for 14 yards and a touchdown. But a sight to see. Brandon Cooks finally.
Brandon Cooks sighting tonight.
9 catches, 173 yards, and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb goes for over 150 for 3 games in a row. I'm telling you, I think this offense has found its stride. We did it against the Eagles. We've done it 3 weeks in a row where this offense has continued to get better. And I feel like it just took some time. New play caller, new offense. I think this offense is humming right now. And, I mean, just Brandon Cooks, 173. CeeDee Lamb, 151. Gallup, 70. It's just 472 total passing yards, 4 touchdowns through the air. Just what a performance by the offense.
Yep, we got the tight end. Ferguson had a touchdown, getting production from the tight ends. That's been one thing we've been missing. They seemingly have gotten it going the last couple games is production from the tight ends. So that's good to see Ferguson find the end zone. Yeah, Brandon Cooks. If we can get him going, this is the guy that we thought we got in the offseason. I was super excited about this. been pretty absent, pretty non-existent so far. Showed up tonight in a big way. CeeDee Lamb becomes the first player in NFL history to go over 10 catches, 150 for 3 games in a row.
Yeah. You're listening to the Grind Live post-game show. Cowboys take down the Giants 49-17. Get your questions in, comment on the YouTube chat. We're going to start getting us a few questions. We'll probably only be another 5 minutes or so. Not a lot to talk about. We haven't mentioned the defense. Another 5-sack performance from the defense. 5 sacks from 5 different people. Neville Gallimore had one. Dorrance Armstrong, Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, DeMarcus Lawrence. A key name absent was Micah Parsons. And you're getting production like that from guys on your defense, not named your best player, Micah Parsons. This is a elite defensive unit, number 3 in the league coming into today.
Yeah, and that's what happens when the team focuses on Micah Parsons. That's what you need. You've got to have, if Micah Parsons is going to be double and triple teamed, somebody else has got to step up. And several guys you just named stepped up today. And now that's going to cause other teams, well, we can't really triple team, double team Parsons because this is what happens. These other guys can play. They're so deep. And then you end up, okay, let's get Micah Parsons one-on-one and turn him loose. So, yeah, great job today by everybody picking up since they had a good game plan against Parsons.
Deron Bland also had another interception.
Good.
I mean, he's stepping up huge since Trayvon Diggs went out. He has had himself a heck of a season stepping up. That's what you got to have. Secondary playing pretty well. Giants couldn't muster much. Tommy DeVito only had 86 yards passing in the game, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. The last touchdown was garbage time. Nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
Saquon, he ended up having a decent day. 13 carries, 66 yards, 5.1 yards per carry. But when you're down early like that, couldn't run the ball. DeVito scrambled with his legs. Cowboys give up 111 yards on the ground, but it couldn't matter because they were behind, couldn't muster up anything. Passing, like we said, DeVito only 86 yards passing. Cowboys didn't even give up a sack. I mean, this was just domination every which way you want to slice it.
You know, in that run, the Dowdle's touchdown there in the 4th, I looked over at you. I said, man, do you remember how good the Giants D-line used to be?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Dowdle runs into the line there at the goal line, and our O-line just folds him in 3 yards into it. I just remember thinking, man, that D-line at the Giants used to be something to contend with, and just dominated them today. Like you said, no sacks given up by the Cowboys, which is good. It's what you like to see. And when you give Dak time and keep him upright, this is the quarterback he can be. Just we got to keep it. We got to keep stringing it together. Lamb can do it for 3 games. We need Dak to do it for 3. Then make it 4, 5, 6, and just keep it rolling.
All right, that segues perfectly into our first question. Again, get your questions in. Get them on the comments on the chat on the video. First question comes from the Mad Dog from Bonham, Texas. His question is, do you agree that Dak Prescott is an MVP caliber quarterback this season?
I think he's got a lot to prove. Of course, he starts in the negative in most people's minds because he plays with a star on his helmet. And then a lot of the criticism he's earned, turnovers and kind of bad throws, not winning enough games. But he keeps playing like this. I think if he's able to play like this the rest of the way out, you've got to have him in the conversation. Of course, again, we'll see because one of his big knocks is inconsistency. And right now he's playing hot.
He's playing hot. He's got he's like 2,500 yards passing, just shy of 2,500 yards passing. He's got 17 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. 6 interceptions through 9 games, a little bit more than you'd like to see from an MVP quarterback.
Right.
But it does have the 17 touchdowns. He's averaging 280 yards per game, roughly. He could be in the conversation for MVP. He's having a very good season. The only thing, a few too many interceptions, but 3 of those came against the 49ers. The one today was not a good decision. I could see him getting into the MVP conversation. Now they're going to have to finish strong down the stretch. He's already got 3 losses, 6-3. That kind of hurts. Usually the MVP comes off a team 1 or 2 seed in each conference. So he's going to have to. The Cowboys are going to have to finish strong. But I can definitely see it. I definitely think he's played some really good football. Like last week, he was phenomenal last week, and had us right there with an opportunity to win the game. So I don't know. A lot of Dak hate, but he playing really well football, really good football the last couple of weeks. Comment from Grayson Riddles. We beat Danny DeVito. No big W here. We got 2 tough road games the rest of the way. Possible we go undefeated the rest of the season. Question from Grayson Riddles. Undefeated the rest of the season. That could be a stretch.
Big ask because next week, Panthers.
That's W.
Mm-hmm. Redskins.
Yeah.
At home. So we go on the road with Panthers. Then our home games, 3 in a row. Redskins, Commanders, Seahawks, Eagles. Then we go on the road to Buffalo.
I can see us winning all 3 of those home games.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's going to be tough. Is it no, it's afternoon.
It's an afternoon game in Buffalo. Then we go on the road, warmer weather down to Miami. Then we're back home against Detroit, who big win today, last second there against the Chargers. And then we go on the road to Washington. I mean, obviously anything's possible. I could see Buffalo, Miami, obviously Philly, Detroit. We've got 4 games, and even the Seahawks are a playoff team. So we've got 4, potentially 5 games that will kind of tell us how good we are, to go back into that Dak MVP question.
Yeah.
If Dak can somehow navigate, if we can go undefeated.
If we go undefeated, Dak will win the MVP.
Yeah, 100%.
If we go undefeated, if we win the rest of our games, Dak will win the MVP.
And I think if we go undefeated,
that means he's playing that high of a level.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think if we go into the Buffalo game, which means we'll have beaten Philly, if we go undefeated into the Buffalo game, I think you'll hear the analysts kind of putting Dak up there as well, because we'll have beaten the defending, we'll have beaten Philly, the team that, and it's an offensive league. You talk about, the interceptions. I don't think the league cares anymore. I think they want offense. They want points. They want people talking about it. That's why everybody wants them to do something with the tush push, brotherly shove, whatever you call it in Philly. Me, I'm just like, I don't know how you stop it. And so that right there tells you it's offense. League loves offense. So I think if Dak goes into the Buffalo game undefeated, I think you're going to have to put him in there.
I think I don't think the chances are high that we go undefeated rest of the season. This team, it can be great, but they have the tendency to have a stinker, especially on the road and at Bills and at Dolphins back-to-back weeks. That screams a recipe of disaster. But what if I said, Jimmy? I said the over/under is we finished 6-2 in those last 8 games you just read off. You taking over on the 6 wins or under on the 6 wins?
I might take even.
That's what I was saying.
6-2.
I think we go 6-2. Be 12-5 for the 3rd year in a row.
Mm-hmm. 6-2, as long as one of those 2 isn't to Philly.
Yeah. And listen, if you go 6-2 the last 8 and you beat Philadelphia with Philadelphia's schedule, remember they're at Kansas City next week. That gives you every opportunity to win the division.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Philadelphia could lose 4 games, and that would put us both at 12-5.
Yeah, Philly's schedule again at the Chiefs, home against the Bills, home against the Niners, on the road against us, on the road at Seattle, home against the Giants, home against the Cardinals, and then they finish on the road.
Now, their last 3, they're going to sweep the last 3 for sure. Unless they find a way to lose to the Cardinals like the Cowboys did. That's going to be the game that's going to cost the Cowboys, that Cardinals stinker.
Just like we said that as soon as it happened.
I could see us beating Philadelphia, but we lose 2 and we finish 12-5, but Philadelphia's 13-4 and win the division. Yep. And we're going to look back at that stupid Arizona game. Could cost us. It's probably what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But good question, Grayson. I think I'd put it at we finished strong at 6-2. So, all right. We've had a few questions already for our college football podcast about the firing of Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Be sure and tune in for that. We're going to record Tuesday night, so it'll be out on Wednesday. And we're going to have a lot to talk about on that. So we've had a lot of questions already. We'll pick a couple. A lot of them basically the same question.
Jimbo Fisher fired. Boise State fires their head coach. Penn State fires their OC. A lot of firings here with still the early signing period going on. Still got a lot of season left to play. Boise State still technically contending for the Mountain West. So, yeah, that's big shakeups in college football.
Big shakeup. So make sure you tune in. Gridiron Grind College Football Podcast. It'll be out on Wednesday this week. It's on Apple Podcasts and right here on our YouTube channel. And then we'll have next week also we'll have NFL Cowboys pod. Not a lot to talk about. The Cowboys play against Carolina, worst team in the league, 1-8. I would expect a lot of the same here. The only difference is it's on the road, so maybe not as dominating. But if the Cowboys struggle with the Panthers, we got a lot of problems. So with this defensive line and Bryce Young having no protection, and he's small, it shouldn't be a problem. I don't see Carolina scoring hardly any. It's been, if they get a late one like the Giants did, but should be a snoozer of a game. So we'll talk that. And of course, we'll have the post-game show next week. Actually, we might not be able to have the post-game show. I got something next Sunday. So, I don't know, play that by ear. But hopefully it'll be like this one. Not a lot to talk about. So thanks for joining us. You can hit us up, grindgrindsports.com. Make sure to tune in again. Our podcasts come out every week, Apple Podcasts, and on our YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Cowboys defeat the Giants 49-17. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys.